Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another Battle to the Death for you, and this is one that you guys have really been requesting. Finally, Benchmade has made these two in very similarly spec'd models, so I thought it was okay to do it. We have the Benchmade Bugout 535-3 versus the Benchmade 940-1. As always, I want to thank our sponsor for these, always sponsored by Southern Edge Knife Works. Go to southernedgeknifeworks.com, use the code SDSEK at checkout and get 15% off. They really help make these battles to the death possible, loaning me stuff, things like that a lot, so very much appreciate it. But back to these knives. Yes, finally, they've done the Bugout in carbon fiber and S90V. The 940-1 has always been carbon fiber and S90V. You guys are often requesting that I do a little comparison battle to the death between these two, but you know, they've just really never been that similar. So that's why I haven't done it, honestly. It's just they never made a Bugout in 940 that were similarly spec'd, similar in weight, all that kind of stuff, similar in price even. Now they do. So it is finally time to do these. We'll talk about each knife individually and do some stats, and then we'll get on to the scoring and how this is all going to work. So the 940-1, as I said, this is the carbon fiber S90V version of one of the most popular Benchmades of all time. It's been around for over 20 years. It's an amazing knife. The 940-1 is a fairly early iteration, of which there are many. They start at about $174 in 2021 prices for the G10 S30V 940-2 version. This -1 is one of the most expensive production ones at $272. Now they have some full titanium ones that are even a bit more. But this is probably my favorite version of the 940, even though it's one of the more expensive ones. I do just like the carbon. I like the S90V. I've owned two of them in the past. I have it on the stock clip on this. I usually carry it on a Bugout, ironically, a deep carry clip, but I have it on the stock one for the purposes of this review. Not the best looking clip, but it's kind of classic with the Benchmade on it, you know, and it's fine. Aesthetically, that's one thing I don't like. But other than that, I like the look of the carbon. And it's just a classic, iconic EDC knife design. It's just undoubtedly an absolute classic, an absolute stalwart, a benchmark, all those things you want to call it. Great, great knife. And now onto the Bugout. So the Bugout initially came out in, the Grivery handles, S30V. Some people have called it, a bit flimsy feeling. Some people have called it, overpriced. They start out at, $130 for Grivery and S30V and no liners or anything really to speak of. I get it. I get why people call them overpriced. Ironically, this is the most expensive production one at $255, and I kind of almost think it's one of the better values because a lot of people customize their Bugouts. This has quickly become the best-selling Benchmade, like year to year, like ever. They are selling so many Bugouts, and as such, the huge aftermarket. So a lot of people are upgrading them with new scales and new hardware and all kinds of stuff. If you tried to upgrade to something like this, even in Benchmade's own custom shop, you're going to be, which is their in-house customization thing, you're going to be right at about $255, and you're still not going to have this awesome S90V blade. So weird that the most expensive one is the highest value, but it could also kind of be argued for the 940-1. But anyway, this is the newest one in the -3. You're going to S90V in carbon, same as on the 940. That complaint of flimsiness is eliminated in this. You have not only just a bit more robust back spacer, but it's carbon fiber, so you can't flex it. So yeah, it's a bit more robust feeling. Still extremely lightweight though, is what you'll see when we get to the stats. But yeah, awesome design as well. It's going to be a classic, probably right on the level of the 940 in 10 or 15 years. It's only been out for a couple years, and now already still, man, they are everywhere. So let's do some specs. We will start out with the 940. You have a blade length of, I'm going to try and hold it because it likes to tilt a little bit. You have a blade length of 3.5 inches, overall length of 7.8 inches, blade thickness of 0.12 inches, handle thickness of 0.46 inches, and a weight, according to my scales, of 2.43 ounces. On the Bugout, slightly smaller at 3.24 inches on the blade length, overall length 7.46 inches, blade thickness a little thinner at 0.09 inches, handle thickness 0.41 inches, and a weight of just over 2 ounces, 2.02 ounces, if you want to be pedantic about it. Now, how are these things scored? We have 7 categories, as always. The winner in each category gets a point, and at the end, we add them up, and we pick a winner. Ties are permitted. If it comes down to a real tie, the value category is the tiebreaker. So we have design and aesthetics, quality, blade, ergonomics, carry, deployment, and value. Without further ado, let's get going. Design and aesthetics, definitely the most subjective category. This is just to my eyeballs, and it is the one I went back and forth on the absolute most. I'm going to narrowly give it to the 940. Just because, I don't know, the 940 from a design and aesthetic, it's more of an iconic design. It's lasted the test of time. I think the Bugout will too, but let's face it, as of right now, it hasn't. And the Bugout is there's a lot of stuff out there that looks like a Bugout. There's not much stuff out there that looks like a 940. It's just unique. I'm just giving it to it because of the uniqueness. It also comes in a lot of variants, so if you're not into this carbon fiber look, the new titanium ones are beautiful. They have, the iconic green ano aluminum, the 940-1 with the black G10 and the green accents. There have been a ton. But the 940-1 especially, I think, ramps it up just a little bit because I like the little pop of blue on the back here. I do wish they'd had a blue thumb stud like the Bugout does. That's why I almost gave it to the Bugout. If I was comparing these two, and just these two, which I guess I should be, if I was comparing just these two, maybe I'd slightly give it to the Bugout, but I don't know. Overall, this is still just much more of an iconic overall shape, where this is just kind of knife, which is fine. It makes it work very well, but I think this is a design that's much more memorable than the Bugout is. Quality. Both made in the same place. Both Benchmades. Both of these excellently centered grinds, or even all that stuff people complain about with Benchmades, which I think is a little overblown, but yes, there are definitely some Benchmades that have been off-center and had wonky grinds and things like that. Both of these are excellent, but I'm still going to give it to the Bugout, to the 940, the one that's actually in my hand. I'm going to give it to the 940 just because, I don't know, it's got the liners. It just has a bit more of a solid feel to it. I guess it doesn't have that much more liners than the Bugout does, but still, it just has more of a solid feel to it. I don't know. I think this is definitely the most solid feeling Bugout I've ever handled, except for maybe a G10 Custom Shop one. But it's still, this just feels like knife, a bit more than the Bugout does. So I guess I have to put that in the quality section. I don't really know where else to put that. So that's what's going to give the quality, in very narrowly again, to the Bugout. So right now, to the 940. I'll get this right sometime. 2 narrow wins to the 940. Ergonomics. This one wasn't tough. I love the 940. I find it comfortable to use, even with, I have very long fingers, large size gloves, but skinny fingers, but very long fingers. And normally knives like this that I wrap around this far, I don't like, but I do like the 940. The stock pocket clip gets a little bit of a hot spot, and that's probably what's costing it here. With the Bugout clip that I usually have it on, there is no hot spot, so keep that in mind. But still, the Bugout, even though it has a thinner handle, fills my hand. It's got a taller handle, so it fills my hand so much better. No hot spots. I love the ergonomics of the Bugout, always have. And on this nice smoothish carbon, it works even better than usual. So yeah, pretty easy win ergonomics for the Bugout. Blade, also easy win for the Bugout. Much thinner blade stock, much higher grind, thinner behind the edge. This is 22 thousandths behind the edge, which is not amazingly thin, it must be said, for knives in 2021. A lot of them are a lot thinner than that, especially in this lightweight EDC category. You're finding most knives to have thickness behind the edge in the teens, so get that out of the way. But 22 thousandths behind the edge, pretty high flat grind. This is 25 thousandths behind the edge, thicker blade stock, very short grind. This is not a great slicer. Good piercer. The 940 has always been good for that. You got a really good piercing tip on it. But as far as the EDC stuff, you're really going to be doing things like this. yeah, this is an infinitely better blade. So a pretty big win, I would say, to the Bugout as far as the blade goes. Both the same S90V steel, so from the same place, theoretically heat treated the same way, all that stuff. So that all should be a wash. As far as the carry goes, let's bring out ye old Levi's and get to that. So we'll start out with the 940. Very, very thin in the pocket. Again, does not come with a deep carry clip. I do believe a couple versions do come with a Bugout clip, so there's that to keep in mind. I think they actually call it something else. I don't think they call it the Bugout clip anymore. But super easy to get your hand past. 2.4 ounces for a knife like this, knife this size. Excellent weight. It's great to carry. All 940s are fantastic to carry. I have no issues with them, but I'm still going to give it to the Bugout because it's just even that little bit lighter. I think it is light, 0.4 of an ounce. That is light enough. It is a weight difference where you're getting to the point where I think you might actually notice it. And I really love this pocket clip. It's very small. It's very discreet. I think it's the best pocket clip that Benchmade's ever made. And Bugouts just come with it. They're not hard to obtain if you want to. If you call Benchmade, I think you have to say that you have one of the models that need it, and you actually have to have it. Like, I know one time they made me send a picture or something like that, and it was like $5 or whatever. But I think you can buy them now. But anyway, I gotta give it to the Bugout for carry, but not by much. At 940, still awesome to carry. These are both just excellent EDC knives, and one of the most operative words in EDC is everyday carry, and carry is extremely important. Both of these are just legends when it comes to that, but gotta give it to the Bugout. Deployment. I mean, both axis locks. This one's pretty new. It's not as broken in, but it's still pretty darn drop shutty. I've had my custom Bugout that's more broken in is completely drop shut, and all my other Bugouts have been totally drop shut. 940, very drop shutty. It's a tie. There's no real, like, I tried to find, is the thumb stud in a better place on one than the other? No, not really. There's just nothing to put between them, so tie on that. Final category, value. Let's be honest, neither of these are very good value. I mean, it's both. A lot of people complain about both, and I completely get why. If you're just shopping dollars for stats, they're not that great. Although S90Vs are pretty hard to find in production knives. It is a pretty rare steel to see because it's very hard to work with. It's extremely hard, but still, yeah, 272 and 255. And you can say that for all of them across the range, the 940 and the Bugout, both across the range. A lot of people say they're not good values, and honestly, I like them both. I own both of these. I have no intentions of getting rid of either of these, but I get why people would say that, and it's pretty hard to argue against it. So they're gonna get a tie in the value, and it's a bad tie, I guess I would say. It's an admonishing tie. So there you go. So where does that leave this battle of old icon versus future icon? You have a 3-2 win for the Bugout with 3 ties, and I think, really objectively looking at it, I think that's probably pretty fair. This is the future. It does feel more modern. It doesn't have all the classic, cachet of the 940, but a better blade. That's kind of what it all comes down to, right? It's a better blade, and with the carbon fiber, it's not flimsy anymore if you're worried about. I never found that to actually be an issue, to be honest with you, but some people don't like that. So yeah, I think in this more expensive one, it fixes just about every complaint everybody had about the Bugout, and it just, it feels more optimized, more modern than the 940, where some of the 940 things I think go on for the sake of tradition, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't ever want them to change the basic 940. If they ever made a new one, keep it the same, which they have. They did the 9400, which is an automatic, but it's exactly the same. It's just an automatic. And then they did the new 945, which is exactly the same, just smaller, which I'm very happy with that. So don't change a thing. I'm not complaining that it's nostalgic, but a lot of the 940 is nostalgic, where this feels more like it has a future, and they keep constantly changing it and upgrading it. And it's, the sales are reflecting that people like that. So there you go. Winner is the Bugout, especially in this two model comparison, the 535-3. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one.